It's a weekend, so not a lot of people could find time to join. So hopefully, people in the call are okay with the call being recorded. If you intend not to be recorded, please keep your participation uh, to the minimum, like any chats or discussion. If you want, you can skip participating so that we can record the call and make it available for others who couldn't join this session. Right. I think we got close to how many people we got? 14, 15.
Yep.
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 It is a good amount. So, respecting everyone's time, let's start with the session and then we can share the link to the recording to the wider audience after this call. Right. Welcome, everyone, again to this session. So, this is our fifth session from Help4People, and good to see a lot of community participation and sharing of information and knowledge across a lot of people. And to be honest, like last 3 days, I have not participated in any chats, but still good to see people helping each other. And that's the idea behind Help for People. So help four people and hope the remaining those four people go on and help another set of four people, forming like a multi-level marketing strategy. But in case of not just money, but through helping and creating a feeling of love and humanity among the people, which is getting lost in this world, which is kind of going rushing towards money. So I will stop with that. And today we got a session from. We'll be having a session on property investments, which is one of the pillars for fire financial independence retire early concepts. And two of the people from Property Maximizer have kindly agreed to take spend their next 1 hour with us, providing some information, very generic and introductory information on steps that you can take to achieve financial independence through property investment. And towards the end, maybe we will open the session also for any questions that you may have or which you may not be able to find answers anywhere out. Naveen, hopefully you are okay with that.
Yep,
Just
absolutely, Jay.
that way we can have more participation and we can clarify, and that could open up opportunities for every one of us who could enter into property investment, and through which you can also grow your services. So I will stop there and open it to Naveen.
Thanks, Jay. First of all, thanks a lot for your time and consideration and providing the platform to service people in Australia. And yes, we are there for you to join your hands as well. And to be honest, it's not just a business, it's a lot of service. Few people realize that one, few people takes time to get into that phase to understand that. Yeah, but it's a very good platform which you are creating for every individual to benefit, as we are living home away from home, to be honest, right? So it's a new home for everyone. So yeah, so with that note, yeah, property maximizer, as you see, it's one of our services which we started recently. And just to give a background about me, I'm Naveen. I got about 18 years of IT experience, just like you, most of you guys on the call. And while doing the IT itself, I was always doing some service. Previously, when I was in Bangalore, doing the garment business, and then when I came to Australia, started with Superbazaar. Some of you might have heard with the name Superbazaar online Indian grocery store. So that's my baby too. Proud to say that. So, and then we helped a lot. COVID time, yes, I can't forget the time where I met many people during the COVID. In it, oh my God, this is a tough path. So we were able to overcome that phase, serving many people across Melbourne, especially during these rough times. And subsequently, yes, we jumped into this property journeys, because though we do IT jobs, right, at the end we need to do something for us and for family too, and for our friends. So that's where I thought, I'm not into shares, so somehow properties is what I thought working for me. So during that context, yes, I went beyond where we live. I live in Melbourne, most of you here in Manor Lakes. So jumped into investing properties in Perth, Adelaide, regional places where I've never been to be honest. I didn't even see with my eyes. You don't believe. I invested in the properties where I never traveled, even till today. I never traveled even after this journey has started. But everything has given fruits for me. So with my own services and with my only data due diligence parts, we invested there and saw returns coming through average of 100 to 150K every year. I'm seeing consistent returns from the last 3 years, even though people were skeptical, high interest rates, and Perth market is down. People were scared to jump into the Perth market. I invested during 1.5 year back itself in the Perth market, where people are talking about that market now, where I invested without any bias agent. I myself did that one. And I, along with Ram, we had acreage properties investments as well. So along with a group of people, it's not just one person show all the time, right? We pool the people as well. We invested. So where it helped everybody as well in terms of seeing the returns. So that's where I started. And then collaborated with Ram. I would like Ram to introduce himself and rest of our team members he'll introduce. Over to you, Ram. Ram, you're on mute.
Is it better now? Okay, thank you. Okay, firstly, thanks, Vijay, for your hard work on the nonprofit forum, probably bringing a lot of people, irrespective from where they are originated, helping the human in this context. Thank you for that. And just continuation to what Naveen mentioned. I'm currently still working in a financial industry since last 2 decades or so. And like everybody else, I'm also an investor, and started the journey trying to see beyond. I wanted to see beyond what I could travel in my place. I built around 4 to 5 houses that I've built and sold, because I wanted to closely monitor. But then I realized that there is more potential if I go beyond my comfort location. I don't need to be physically there. So that's where I started journey with Naveen, and we started collaborated and acquired a couple of properties across Australia. And I can proudly say that it's really giving me more than what I was doing at my local area where I currently reside. So that's one of the things. So it's like me doing before I ask other to do. So we did the same stuff to see and showcase ourselves as an example, rather than indicating somebody else what is best to do. Rather than we should first of all observe that and go into that mindset. So that's how we did it. And to achieve that, obviously we had a core other teams who we closely work with, from a accounting perspective till mortgage brokering, till property management, to conveyancers and renovators. So we got a group of people who actually worked along with us as a journey, and they are not there for one property. They are there for our journey of this investment steps. So that's briefly about me, and myself is Ram. I live in Manor Lakes, close to Naveen. So I'm reachable. We will share a bit more details and back. Over to you, Naveen.
Thanks, Ram. Yep. So as you see, guys, so financial goals and benefits. So I just want to check, everybody in this group are aware about having a goal or not? Everybody is doing something or other. How many of you proactively defined, yes, I wanted to have this as my financial goal? You just need not answer. You just think of yourself, whether every individual in this group are having self-definite goal or not. If yes, I sincerely appreciate that. Keep doing that. Keep smashing your goals out, finding the ways to meet it. Okay, don't feel shy. If you don't have one, please set one at least now and work towards that in your comfort zone without losing your personal life. So work towards that anything. So there are ways to do that financial goals. How you can achieve? One of them is real estates. Gold, you might have heard gold investments. You might have heard stocks, investing in stocks, EFTs, bonds, whatnot. There are plenty of the ways in the market available. So we don't say this is the right way, this is the wrong way. I'm sorry, you can just stay there, the previous one still. There is no right and wrong in this ones. Okay, it's just about what suits for our personal style and for our family needs. Okay, don't burn the bridges. At the same time, don't burn your energy too much. Try to do with the available set, using available best resources, and achieve the goals. So what is the benefits of it? Security of life, risk management. You should be effectively managing the risk. Whether you invest in golds or stocks, you are managing the risk, right? How much you can invest. Whether are you shelling more money and then investing there, or just using part of your savings and risking that one. And how you can do optimization with the taxes. We are not accountants, but yes, we can definitely coach in terms of how effectively you can use the taxation. Instead of paying ATO for your tax money, how you could use that tax money towards building the property portfolio, because our forte is properties. We know what we can do, how we can achieve those numbers through properties. So we can coach. If you are not aware about it, if you are aware about it, well and good. If not, think about those lines. If you could do yourself, and reducing the debts, and have peace of mind and set your goals. That is what. If you do not have plans, yes, we do have a roadmap, one of the roadmaps which we are taking you through in the next slide. So that is where we're talking about the property investment. So this is one of the very nurtured and proven platform to have a goal and to work towards that. So how you can achieve that one? You can live, you can buy and live in the property, owner occupied property. You might have heard the term owner occupied. So how you can save? I'm not sure whether everybody are aware or not. Queensland government still giving $30,000 for the first home owners grant. I'm not sure whether any of you are aware or not. You know about Victoria. I'm sure most of you are aware about Victoria. Queensland is still giving, as I speak today as well, $30,000 for the first home owners grant is still available. If you could still plan effectively, there are ways in jumping into that market as well in doing that. So owner occupied is definitely the first step to consider if you are not in the journey. Flip side again, rent vesting. There is a concept called rent vesting where you invest pocket where you can afford, use the money that is coming as a rental from that, and live where you want. Classic example, I have two properties in Perth for 800K, which is giving me rental of 1200 per week. 800K property, two properties, it's not one. It is giving a rental of 1200 per week. I can comfortably live even in southeast suburbs for the schooling zone purpose, whatever is the reason. So I need not sacrifice, I need not limit myself where to live. If it is 800, I might get only one house here, one pocket, I might be narrowed down. So this is the concept of rent vesting. So I'm just putting some seeds for you to think through and have your own plans to work towards them. But if you need services, our services are there, which we'll go through later. But yes, think in those lines. You are very well able to do it. Most of you are into IT industries. You can do yourself as well. And then leveraging this stamp duty exemption for the first homeowners grant and build the equity. If you are not into the journey yet, yes, build the equity and take the equity out of the property and use it for second investment. Personally, right, my journey has started in 2018. I came to Australia only end of 2016. As and when I came to Australia, within 6 months, I invested for a land in Mannar Lakes. That is where I'm living in even today. So 2018, I got my house constructed. By the time house was constructed, I got an 100K equity. With that equity, I started my investment journey. So that's how I am not built rich. To be honest, I was having only savings of $5,000 when I jumped into Australia. I don't have bank balance in India as well, guys. Only $5,000 is what I have. I borrowed from my friends for another 5,000, and I booked land in Mannar Lakes, Lollipop Hill, giving $10,000 as security deposit. That was my first investment. So within 2 years, when the house construction completed, loan came through from the bank and everything happened. After the completion, 100K equity, I converted into another investment property. One investment property I sold in 2 years with a profit of 200, and that I split it into 3 properties across Australia. Instead of where I'm living, I did the diversification into Western Australia and Queensland during 21-22 itself. And I didn't use any other buyer's agent services. I did myself. And believe me, to be honest, I didn't visited those places ever. Only recent last month I went to that place along with my friends and to see what happened. Even I sold some of the properties which I never visited, and I made money of 175K in 1 year, 14 months precisely. I made that profit and I flipped the property as well without even seeing the property. So, because for me, investment is just a numbers game, it is not emotionally connected. So, just one of the feedbacks for you, if you're thinking about investment, do not get connected emotionally to that. Just see the data, numbers, due diligence, go with your right mindset and attitude. Do not connect emotionally. If you're connected emotionally, you might end up, it might cost a lot for you. So that's one of the significant tip you might need to consider, be it properties, be it stocks, anything for that matter. Okay. So reinvesting, this is where you need to keep working towards that. Investing and then reinvesting, there are ways to do that. So keep working what that suits you. Are you able to see beyond where you sit here? If you are sitting in Manor Lakes, many people are diversifying the properties within Melbourne, within Victoria. Are you able to see beyond with your eyes and ears? Well and good. Smash it. Keep continuing the same if you're already doing that. We sincerely appreciate that. If not, what we can do? That is where we'll talk about subsequent slides. Yes, we take the good depths in achieving that one. How do we go beyond where we live? Yes, good debt, bad debt. Most of you have heard these terms, good debt, bad debt, I reckon. If not, just a quick one. The good debt is one which you are taking the loans or debts from the banks or financial institutions to build the wealth. That is having a secured property, secured asset for you to hold and to support when in need. Whereas bad debts are like credit cards, unsecured loans. So you need to decide whether you need to work towards the good debt or bad debt. Many rich businesses also, you always see they're having a portfolio of $1 million, $1 billion. Do you think they do have cash sitting in their account for that one? Definitely not. They do have a good debts for that one. So everybody can reach the $1 million, multi-millions, $1 billion using good debts effectively, as long as you are confident and due diligent in terms of how you can plan your debts. You can achieve that numbers in no time and very comfortably without compromising any of your personal life. So think through those lines and work towards that. And how do you invest in the property management or investment? It is not just residential. There are commercial properties also. If you are already doing well and good, it's a great job. It's not an easy thing. Certainly, guys, commercial is not at all an easy game. It includes a lot of complication structures. And as you see on the screen as well, across the residential and commercial, right, even down payment varies. Many financial institutes will not lend the loans for commercials right away. 10%, 20% will not work out for commercials. Most of the banks will give only 30%, considering as a down payment, only 70% loan would be given by them. Because there is a lot of risk factor involved. That is one of the reasons financial institutes will not lend you complete money most of the time. I'm not saying no all the times, most of the times, because we personally saw the cases where banks have given the lending even for 80%, even on commercial properties. It happens, but on an average, 30% down payment is expected. Whereas residential, from 5% to 20% also, you can get through that one. So have you ever considered diversifying your portfolio using good debts? Well and good. Continue doing that. And keep in mind, please do reinvesting and keep following that to do flipping as well, or taking the money out and reinvesting elsewhere. So keep considering, strategize your goals and roadmap appropriately. If you are not able to do that, yes, we do have services for you. Buyer's advocacy. You might have heard this name recently in the market, buyer's agent. What is buyer's agent? If many of you might have heard the term real estate agent, and don't get confused with the difference between buyer's agent and real estate agent. Real estate agent is the one who stands on behalf of a seller. If Jay wants to sell his house in Manar Lakes, he will go to a real estate agent. Let's take an example of EV Homes Mahesh. Might go to Mahesh. Mahesh, I wanted to sell my house. What rate could you get me for? So Jay might be saying, I'm expecting 650 for my house or 700 for my house. Mahesh will say, okay, I can work out for you. And then Mahesh will work to get higher than 700 for Jay. Mahesh is working for Jay as a selling agent. And when Karthik, Arvind, Ram, Naveen, when we are going to the market to buy Jay's house, Mahesh will try to get higher for Jay. Whereas buyer's agent, if somebody wants to buy a property, the same Jay's property, if somebody on opposite buyer's agent, as a buyer's agent, I will go to Mahesh. I say, okay, Mahesh, you are saying 700 plus. Have a buyer who is ready to buy. The comparables for this property I see as $670 only, 670K only. It's not 700 worth, Mahesh. Considering these factors, these are the due diligence factors which I would like to portray. So considering this, we would like to give an offer of 670 and we will negotiate better terms. We don't want 90-day settlement. We would do settlement in 30 days. We will pay money to you in 30 days itself. Peace of mind. And again, we might even do without finance clause. We don't want to give finance clause. So your buyer can be peace of mind. So could you please get the property for my buyer at 670 instead of 700K? He might have other offers at 680, 690. He might start seeing the offers. But Mahesh will go back to Jay. Jay, this is the situation. Because at the same time, Mahesh has to do professionally and correctly. Even though he's good friend as well for the buyer side, both the sides, he has to do justice for his role. So he will go back to Jay. Jay, we have two offers. One, 670. Naveen is giving with finance clause, 30-day settlement. But there is another buyer, Ram is giving 690K, subject to finance, 90 days, build and pest. So which one do you like to consider? So based on the situation, there are high chances, and most of our cases, it worked out as well sometimes, where Jay might think, oh, 3 months, I need to wait to see that money. And then again, subject to finance. Indirectly, you know, right? It's like a due diligence. So they might back out as well, saying that they don't want to go that property. They might find another property which is cheaper than me, my property price, and they might go to that. So it depends. So then Jay will think, weigh both the options. He will think, no, I'm not too rushed. I have no issues. Then he may leave it at 690 itself. If not, if he is hanging a bit down, then we are going to get an edge by getting the property at 670 for our buyer, where others are bidding at 697 or closer to that as well. We should be able to back the property less than that. So this is one of the cases of negotiations that we do for our buyer, where we do all the data due diligence points, saying, okay, man, like this street view, these points, these are the data points, which gives the validation saying why 670. It's not just going emotional. Yes, 700, this is the number for which I want. That's all. My loan is eligibility of sales is 700. So I wanted to go 700. I wanted to go up to 700. That should not be the case, guys. So we need to do complete due diligence. What is right for the property? Let seller come up with whatever price they say. They might say even 800, doesn't matter. As a buyer's agent, we do complete due diligence, finding the right set of data to justify what is the right dollar for that property, and we will put that property, that value in the negotiation to the seller or real estate agent, saying this is what we wanted, this is the best offer we could give. So we will negotiate that way. So we'll observe the market trends as well closely, and we do monitor every quarterly. We do get council reports across Australia. We do have some of the separate subscriptions we'll have, for which we pay $12,000 as well, for some of the subscriptions where we get quarterly data. What is going to happen in the next quarter in the particular council, where that is coming, what is approved, what is forecasted, approved, already happening. All this data will be there with us. So those are the factors. Along with, there are 30, to be honest, 30 different data pointers are there, which we will consider as a buyer's agent, and we will pick up those pockets to invest. Okay, if you are having a 400K budget, if you are having 500K budget, what pockets to go through? And whether you wanted a positive cash flow or a negative gearing, what pockets we have to consider and why. So that's the data points which we will consider. We do due diligence and we do consider and invest that one. So whatever you see, we personalize the strategy, as we mentioned earlier as well. Everybody's situation is different. I want, my personal goal is, every year I wanted to sell one property and get 100K profit and go for peaceful holiday with family and buy another property with a balanced money. That is my goal. Last 2 years, I am proud to say I am successful in that one. And even this year, I am proud to say I'm successful. I got my number already. I have my savings for that holidays. I already flipped into another property as well. So I'm very proud and confident to say about my numbers game, what I did. It was working and it is working. It will work because I never go with emotions. I always go with the data points with a complete due diligence. So while doing this one, that is where we are taking as a service to provide to many other people as well. As you see in the market, right, many people will say you buy there, you buy there, but we are not like us. We have, me and Ram, we have our own properties across Australia: Adelaide, Brisbane, Perth, Queensland, Townsville, Rockhampton, Port Lincoln. We do have our own properties, not the clients, our own properties we do have. So we are going to take you along with us. So taste the success once, tongue wants more, the Kapil Dev savings. So that is where we kept on going. I tasted once and I kept on moving that one. We wanted to show you that taste of success for you as well. If you are not doing yourself already, if you're doing yourself, well and good, please consider these factors and keep doing the same. But don't forget to keep a close eye and know when to flip, how long to hold, or when to diversify into different one. So if you're able to do, well and good. If you're not, then yes, we are there for you and we'll show what are the next steps we do as well.
Thanks, Naveen. Probably I'll take it forward from here. So
Yeah.
as Naveen mentioned, um, these are the steps where when we start as a journey with any potential investor, we discuss with the individual, because obviously Naveen has expressed what he has done, and his situations are completely different to my situations. So it's always a change to person. Everybody wants to go in the journey, retire early or whatever. But for that, we just need to understand individual circumstances. So what we generally start with is we do a planning session, strategic call session with an individual potential investor to understand their goals, what they wanted to achieve, and what are their time frame, and what numbers we are working on based on their current obligations that they need to fulfill with the family circumstances or whatnot. In the call, generally we come up with a plan. We look at the funds available and we identify, and we'll come up and suggest some roadmap for them, where they need to invest, and how they need to invest, and how long they need to hold. Considering some of the factors, like somebody might say, oh, I just wanted the equity. I don't mind spending a couple of hundreds each month on a property to hold, but I wanted the equity more. But somebody else might say, no, I'm not too much worried about the equity. I want the positive gearing. I want $1,000 per month into my bank account, even though equity might not grow significantly. So it depends, right? Somebody wants the money too early. Somebody wants the money later point of time. Somebody might have a negative gearing. Probably everybody might know that negative gearing is where you're paying high taxes on your salary, because if you're a high pay grade, more than 150 or something like that, where you will fall under 40%. And government provides the kind of a rebate, by showing, if you could show some expenses on the investment that you made, like interest on a property, or depreciation on a property, any maintenance activity that we do on an investment property. So that becomes your expenses on the total property portfolio you are holding, and you could offset that with your income that you need to pay to ATO. So that's a negative gearing. And positive gearing, obviously, it's like you buy a property where you take the loan from a financial institution, and you end up need to pay X amount of dollars, and your rent on that property is example Y, and if Y is greater than your X, like $3,000 your rent income, while your interest is only $2,000. That's a positive gaining. So where you have $1,000 every month on your disposal. So people will have a different circumstances. So what we do is that we will conduct a strategic call to understand more about individual, what their goals and what the amount that they have, and then we propose them what is their packets that they need to target, and that's where they need to acquire those properties and how long they need to hold, and when to flip and everything else. So that's kind of a initial strategic call session that we will run. While doing that time, we will also propose them a different structure that they can start investing, investment they could use. Typically everybody generally does their property investment on their personal name. That's a very common known thing that you don't need any professional advice, I suppose, like having a property on your name. That's like most of people follow. But there are benefits, and sometimes there is also disadvantages with that structure. A typical example is if somebody is owning a property on their name, means they are completely at the risk. If you are being sued for some whatever reasons, then you are keeping your asset at risk, and also you will be solo responsible for that property entirely, any legal activities and everything else on top of it. And also if you have any capital gain, if you get any capital gain on the property, you would be fully taxed on the capital. And second thing is, one of the disadvantages where it could, right, um, it shouldn't happen, but if you pass away, it's unlike that it will automatically passes to your immediate family. It has to go through the will, basically, because the bank will think that is your instrument, and they will closely connect that, basically. There are benefits. You will be the sole owner. You could control it 100%, and easy to maintain. It's a one property that you manage it. You make the decisions, and everything else. There is another way of investing is through trust. Basically, trust where it's easy, where you are completely keeping individuals away from the liabilities on the asset. Basically, so personally you won't own it. A trust will own, and trust will have a beneficiaries. Like you could add your kids into there. They are the beneficiaries, even though they are not contributing for the loan, that property that you are going to acquire. But you could also allocate how much percent they can get out of it. When you sell the property, you could also distribute the capital among the beneficiaries, where you will reduce your income tax on the property as well. There is other way of doing is a company setup. It obviously it passes to next generation. The directors will could change, structure will change, but trust and company will come with a bit of a complex structure, I suppose, where you need to have a professional tax accountant managing that, and audits need to happen. Sorry. Okay, audit needs to happen. It's not like an individual can maintain it, but there would be benefits. It's not all. Every model of this structure is changes based on the individual circumstances. One of the benefits some people might utilize is owner occupied, and buying a property on a husband and wife, right? If you could split that into two different people, like husband and wife separately, you could buy two separate properties, owner occupied, and you don't need to pay any capital gain if you acquire. So there are some um, uh, possibilities available based on how do you structure, and how many properties you previously have, and what is your serviceability. So there are ways that we could get more than three properties, and we will suggest the best possible way. It's not like we are doing any shortcuts, but if you restructure, then you will never have a problem of borrowing, low borrowing capacity or whatever, which banks obviously checks. We just need to demonstrate to the bank that we have enough funds to service the property in case of any downturn. And with the proper structuring of the investment property, we could achieve easily. I'll just run down a couple of slides where we talk about what's a down payment typically. I mean, that's what one of the questions generally we've been asked in most of the sessions. So we thought we'll put together something. I think you would know most of them is in the internet, but we try to put together here. We gave a typical example of 400, 500, and 600 different mark. I'll just go through the 400K mark. For that, probably the down payment would be needed is around 100K, 110 in this instance, considering we are going with a 20% of LMI, where you don't need to pay LMI to the bank. If you have 10%, probably you will end up paying 10% of LMI. That would be additional to this. Stamp duty roughly 16,000 and the buyer's agent fee is 15,000. So altogether, together it's 110. What we could see is yearly tax benefit as well with the property, with the depreciation or rental interest rate on the property that you can claim as a tax benefit. The properties that we project from, if you go through us, is where we pull up the suburbs where they are in high growth corridor. Means we kind of look at the suburb where it will give at least 20 to 30% growth in each year based on the real data. So we always think between 3 to 4 years, you should get the double of your investment. Assuming you are investing 100K, your 20% down payment inclusive of whatever the fees, we definitely think you will get 220, double to that in 3 to 4 years time from that capital. And that's where the reinvestment will come into picture. And we really wanted everybody should think this is an investment end of the day. So assuming you have 100K, you are giving bank loan, okay, and they might give you $4,000 per month. And you don't care where the 100,000 they might be using. Your worry is like you are getting 4,000 as an interest on the 100K. So likewise, property is also an investment, and we shouldn't really have an attachment onto the house saying, "Oh, I wanted to see myself in my front room and the bedroom or whatever." If you start having more emotions to that property, you might end up trying to stick to that. So you won't regenerate a capital out of it. So unless you materialize, unless you sell the property at the appropriate time in 2 to 3 times, 3 years times, because we will be with you in that journey, unlike on other buyers agent where they will buy your property and walk away. But we will continually monitor and we will advise you because we have on-ground property managers who would give us the best deal on a property that we bought down the line. And if we are able to flip from one property to two properties, then we are generating the equity quicker, and it's easy for us to reach our whatever the financial freedom, independence that we are thinking. I just go to the next slide where we just wanted to show what we have done in the month of May, which it's still one more week to go. In the last 3 weeks, it was really fruitful, where we got 2 properties our own name and 2 properties for our clients. Closely we worked with them. They are both in a metro and the Perth in the regional, as well as in the Adelaide, as well as Queensland as well. They range between 400 to 500. Some of the properties that we bought around 30 to 40,000 under less than the market value. How we will look at the prices are basically we look at the median price of the suburb, and we try to get the price negotiated under the median value. That way you will straight away get the equity on your account already when we go to the lending. And if you have 15% deposit, sometimes it might work out depending upon your lender. You might end up only need to pay 15% rather than 20%. So these are the examples, and I think one which we haven't listed, which was closed recently, was it was advertised for 330, and we closed the property for 298, which is sorry, 320 was advertised, and we settled the house for 298 using build and pest inspection. We negotiated with a vendor, and we got the reduction of 22,000, and we used around 5,000 to do the corrections based on the build and pest report that we received. So we straight away got around 17,000 on our pocket than the market value, what it ideally used to sell. So there are always a ways that we identify to get a better deal for our customer. And the initial workout that we always do is they recover our fee immediately, instantly. And also not just getting a property, we also have multiple types with the different property managers who would give us the better rental appraisal, not just an appraisal, also identifying the best tenant in that area as well, because their database and history and everything else, avoiding problematic tenants, because obviously they are it's like a funnel where we need that rental returns are coming consistently without any break, so that we don't really need to worry much on a repayment. So with the help of the property managers, they would look after the property. We don't need to travel anywhere. We will facilitate all the property details through video calls. We will be with you in the journey of signing the contract. We do the review, a due diligence of everything. We guide you saying what needs to happen and when. And we also talk about the terms based on your financial circumstances. Somebody might already have a pre-approval of a loan. Somebody might be getting in a week's time, and we negotiate how do we structure that so that we can get the better outcome. Those are, I think, Naveen already covered. That's pretty much about some of the recent deals that we have. I think, Naveen, we are good for any question.
Yeah, I'm just seeing one of the chats. Thanks, Ram. So, yep. Before jumping on to the question, I just want to share a few more pointers as well for the community, right? See, remember, it's just one of the services. You need not come to us. I'll share one of the pointers. When you are doing investment journey, first thing, consider yourself doing the loan on a trust name. One of the key learnings in our journey so far. So we are sharing this one, so you can also do yourself. Okay, if you do loan structure for investment on the trust setup, the serviceability roadblock you are not going to hit. You can keep multiplying your property portfolio year on year as long as you have the down payment. If you have the right accountant and right mortgage broker with you, just discuss with them. Discuss in these lines. We wanted to consider the loan process for our investment journey via trust. So you will not have serviceability. I have 9 properties on my name, no serviceability issue. I have only 180K as my income. I'm not earning rocket science here. Okay, just like most of your family. So it's just 180K is my family income. I still have 9 properties because of this trust setup. So you do the same. That is one of the ways which you can achieve. And considering the pockets, don't limit yourself with the area where you live. Open up, see the market. Things like Perth, Brisbane, Adelaide. These metros are also performing very well. You can achieve your goals by investing in those areas. Okay, consider and monitor those pockets very closely. Because I'll tell you a classic example. Maddington is one of the suburbs which we picked up as well in Perth. I'm telling the names as well, right? That zoning has changed recently. The property suburb zoning has been changed. But one street, left side of the street, is zone has changed. Right side of the street, zone still remain the same. Okay? People are thinking Maddington is a good suburb. They know they are going and buying it. But that is not correct. That is why I'm saying you check how do you check? Check with the council data. check with the infrastructure map, check the comparable sales, talk to the local real estate agents, talk to the local property managers, talk to the community members in the Facebook, reach out to the tradies over there, reach out to the people living over there. Then you will understand what changes are coming through and what community is living there, whether you can invest there or not. Few people might be thinking, I might relocate from Melbourne to Brisbane later on. I might relocate from Melbourne to Perth, Melbourne to Adelaide. So I would like to consider a property there for myself in future, maybe. So if you're thinking then lines, think, okay, who are living in those areas? Is it a IT professionals or what age group professionals? And you can find this data in real estate, and there are core logics, there are council. You can do yourself the due diligence, pick those data elements that are for your needs, and pick those pockets and invest there. You will not go wrong. Okay. And now jumping on to some of the questions. I all have questions. Start putting it together in the chat so I can effectively make it. How can a person be confident about buying in other states? Do the property managers guarantee right tenants, maintenance of house? Good question. Yes. As I mentioned, confidence, even if you are here, to be honest, I am living in Manor Lakes. I have a property in Donnybrook as well. I never visited my property. The property is there from 4 years. We just given for the property manager. As long as you pick up the right property management company, they will look after your property. Be it in Melbourne, be it anywhere else. Doesn't matter. So what you need to do, pick up the right property manager. How do you pick up right property manager? Check the reviews. Go online, check the reviews, talk to them, connect with them personally, understand them. Okay, are they really service oriented or people connected, or the numbers connected? If it is people connected, you will not go wrong. See the reviews and go for it. If you want, maybe visit once if that makes you feel comfortable. But to be honest, personally, I never visited my property. I have property in Townsville. Many of you might not even heard that name, Townsville. I bought property in Townsville for 250K last year, 9th of January 2023. I bought it. Now, last month, in the month of April, I got the sale offer from the agent for 419K, the same property. I told, sorry, I'm not selling now. I'll sell in the after 1st July, because I already sold one property in Perth. That's because my strategy. I wanted to wait, and I'm going to get 450 1st of July. So I never visited the property because I just picked up the right agent from there with my due diligence. So you do the same. You will not go wrong, but you need to spend time. You can do that. If you're able to spend time, talk to them, get well versed with them, you can do it. Just like you are doing here as well, right? Even your investment property, you might be giving to EV Homes or Ray White or Reliance. You will talk to them. How are you approaching them? Do the same thing. Place doesn't matter, guys. Please open up. Okay. Come out of the boundaries. See beyond where you live. Okay. Don't get panicked with that one. As long as you have the right team working with you. When I say team, it need not be directly reporting to you. Okay. Your indirect persons, property manager is your team. You have a known tradie there. Your friend is there. If nothing wrong, man, you spend some money. If you want, just give some money to your friend to just visit their property every now and then, maybe. Nothing wrong. Okay, they're helping you. They're taking their personal life and going there as well. If they need to drive 1 hour every month, they need to lose their personal life, right? So pay some money for that. Nothing wrong. Don't see everything as a free service. Pay them, offer them. So offer them a treat or send them some gift pack. If you feel uncomfortable paying money, send them a gift pack. The family. So friends can go and see on your behalf. So my only thing is you need not be there to invest outside Melbourne. There are ways to do it. Some of the ways are, as I explained this one, you can do it. And next question. What is your view that Perth and Queensland are already overbought and prices already high? Victoria is no place to be. Okay, I'll go first thing. What is it on Perth and Queensland? Perth and Queensland still not high. There is still a lot of room. Even personally, I can share the data. You can check in online. 207 7th Road, Armadale. We bought the property last month when people are thinking market is already high. I'm saying the address 207 7th Road, Armadale, Perth, postcode 6112. We bought the property for 460K, 750 square meters land, 460K. Even today we bought that last month. It's not about 1 year, 1 month back property. So we have, because we have our team there and we have good relations with the agents. That's why we are able to get it. If you build the relations, if you're able to spend time, you couldn't get through as well. It's not a rocket science. Guys, remember, nothing is rocket science. Most of the stuff goes with the relation building. How you deal with that, how much time you spend, how comfortable will the other party be. For example, if there is an agent there in Perth, okay, her name is Sam, okay, we are working with her. She might be getting the request from 10 people, but she has one property. Whom will she give? Whom will she share the points with? She might update with everybody, but sometimes we do get off market because of our relation. So you can also build the same relation with them and you can also get through. But just a matter of time. You might take some time, but you can get through as well. So you can do yourself. You can very well succeed that one as well. But just you might have to end up doing multiple places at the same time. So generally what happens is if you delay by 2 months, 3 months, the property prices will keep increasing month to month. Literally, in that pocket of Armadale, today there is not even single property which is available less than 500. Less than 525, you don't get it. But we bought it last month. Even at that time, it's the same situation. So things like that. Even another classic example, Adelaide, 25 kilometers from city. Can you think of buying a property for 330K? We got that property. I'm not boasting up here. I'm just saying the point is you build a relation with the agents. You keep monitoring all the pockets. You pick up few pockets, keep monitoring yourself closely. Okay, keep interacting with the agents, because if you go with one area, right, you will have 10 different agents, 20 different agents. You have to interact with all the 20 agents, keep relation with them. You will get through one. You might take some time, but I'm sure you'll get through one. So you need to weigh the options, whether you want to get it now or spend some time and get it. Spending some extra money, it's anyways not a big deal. You are going to get through that. Okay, so you can do that way. The reason for saying Perth market is still high, there are many pockets which are considering the migration count. Yeah, it is going to bump up 10 times what they do have now with the approved migration itself. So it is not going to cut down so soon. That is one of the reasons. The area is small, houses are small, there number of limited houses, shortage of trade is, where are the people going to live? They need houses. So the market is going to boom still. It will be there. But you need to pick up the right pockets, where to pick up and how much to invest. You can't go to Armadale and pick up 650K now. That's where you need to gauge what amount you need to go. So you need to consider. Even as I speak, yesterday in Perth, Balga, I'm telling the suburb names as well for you guys. You can note as well. Okay, Balga is one of the suburbs which we got for our client for 450K, renting for $1,000 a week. Okay, you can also keep monitoring. You can get through as well, but this is off market. You might not find that, but yes, Balga suburb in Perth, 14 kilometers from CBD. Okay, 3-bedroom, 1-bath house. It's a 350 square meters, but it's not a bigger land. 350 square meter, but 450 costing. $1,000 per week is the rental, and not short-term rental. They have 1 year rental already in place. So things like that do their pockets. You just need to work through. There's a time. Okay, and Brisbane. Olympics is still a way to go. 2032, so it is not going to stop. Pick up the pockets between Brisbane CBD and Gold Coast. You will not go wrong, but be mindful of the flood zones. There are few pockets which are having the flood zones there. Be mindful. Never ever go with the flood zone, even though little bit is there. Never ever go with the flood zones. You might see property has a lesser value there. Never go. There are few buyers agents who sells that as well, but if you do yourself, please do not ever go. Queensland, especially anywhere in Queensland, please do check flood zone. For that matter, anywhere you have to check the flood zone. You have to check the bushfire zone, risk level. Okay, consider all those factors before you pick up the pocket and you pick up the street. Even one area says a flood zone, right? Complete area will not be flood. Even in the street, if there are 10 houses, all 10 will not be flood zones. There will be few houses only. How do you pick? You will have the flood zone maps. Every council and every legal websites will be there. You can go through that one. You can find yourself online and then you can go through, and you can do that as well. Okay. So anything, next questions? to late with the time. As new to this property, I like to connect with you for your advice and suggestion to start my journey. Thank you once again. Thank you guys. Thank you, Sendil. Ajay Prakash, what are your thoughts? New versus established versus house and land. New versus established. I'm not against new. It's again, you need to personally strategize. Okay, risk appetite. It comes the risk appetite. People think if I take the old house, I might have to spend more money for the property. Yes, more money has to be spent. How much more? Is it $1,000, $50,000? If it is $50,000, you need to concern. If it is $5,000, $10,000, why are you concerned? Because even the old property, before purchasing, you are going to do building and pest inspection. Your building inspector will tell you the condition of the house. You keep 10K buffer for that year. That's all. If you get a property for 50K lower compared to the new one, I wouldn't mind. We got one property which was constructed in 1930. We got the property for 400K. 1930 house, which we got it in Perth for just last month, which is settling next Tuesday. It is not settled as well. It is going to settle on 28th of May as a settlement. We got the property for 400K. We are renovating that, spending 40K, which is nothing but 440. Already yesterday, the renovator called me saying he has got a buyer to buy the property for 580K. 1930 house, bought for 400, for 40K, 440, for 580K. So as long as structure of the house is good, I wouldn't concern. Because for me, it's not emotionally connected. For me, it's numbers game. House, my standard question to building inspector, right? Will that house stays good for next 5 to 10 years? That's my question. I don't concern whether the pipe leaking or that floorboard broken, that wall has a hole, ceiling has fallen. No, that's not a problem for me. Is it livable? Structure safe, happy. Other things are doable with a small dollar value. When I'm saving the property for 50K, I'm not concerned about 5K, 10K spending, man. That is going to give me fruits, double the turn. And in fact, you're saving the stamp duty. If I do the renovation of 50K, when you are buying it, you will end up paying stamp duty for the additional 50K. I'm saving stamp duty on the 50K renovation. That's why I say the risk appetite, personal strategies varies. So you derive. If you are doing yourself, strategize yourself. Do not blindly go and invest somewhere. What is strategy for me? If Sendil wants to invest, as a Sendil, okay, I'm Sendil. I will say, okay, this is my family. This is my income, my daughter, my kids, my education. These are the numbers. I wanted to reach this X dollars so and so time. I have Y dollars in my pocket. How I can reach that? You strategize, think through that lines, and achieve that, and plan towards that. Don't head towards anything without having proper strategy yourself. And importantly, exit criteria. Do not jump into the journey without having an exit criteria, guys. Okay, be it stocks, be it crypto, be it real estate, do not take the ride without strategy and without exit criteria. Define them for yourself, for your personal and family needs, and go through it. Okay, you can achieve that one. And next, what else? New was established. I answered about new was established and house and land. House and land, definitely, I'm not against house and land. It definitely works out well. And my property journey started with house and land. When I have low money, I went with that. But when I have ready to go with the cash, I wouldn't go house and land because I need to hold my money for 1 year or 2 years. Instead of that one, I can, when I'm able to flip that money in 1 year, why should I wait for 2 years for that, man? So that is why. But nothing wrong. Few people, steady growth, peace of mind, they can do it, but it's not peace of mind, house and land. You might have struggle, but yes. Even today, we are considering house and land as well. It is just about how much time you can spend towards that. If
Hey,
it is,
I mean, looks like we might end up a time over the time probably 7:30. I'm just conscious. Okay.
yeah, we'll just close a minute. So, anyways, Google Meet might be there. We'll just see.
Yeah.
So that's why, guys. So consider your risk appetite. It is not wrong. It is definitely good. But consider your time, how much time you can spend going with the builders and all. We are considering even today house and land. So we are not against that one. It's just the numbers game. If it works for you, you can go for it. You will definitely see the equity. with that one.
Right. Thank you so much, Naveen and Ram. We have almost towards the end of the session, and there is quite a lot of questions coming through. So let's have the questions, and if you can get that answered in our community group, so that way everyone's is satisfied with those answers, and quite a lot of tips that you have provided, which even I was not aware. So it's quite good, and thanks so much for dedicating your time to educate people on pitfalls, right? So rather than the good things, whatever the things that we want to avoid, those are the new things that we understood. And hopefully the trust versus individual and buying on the individual's name, that's something people have to consider if you have to go towards investment journey. So quite a lot to take away. So we will share the recording also to the group, so that people who missed out get to know, and if they can also contact your details are provided in the slide. So both the Naveen and Ram's details are available. So if anyone needs any further info or just a suggestion, even if not the entire services, please feel to reach out. And Naveen has kindly agreed to help provide as much details as possible to help you in the investment journey. Any last thing, Naveen and Ram?
Nothing. Thank you so much. As on the screen, you can send us an email or call the number. We are happy to guide you and provide our feedback, and join you in our journey of investing and creating a wealth. And thank you so much, Vijay, and everybody who spent their valuable time on the weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Naveen.
Yeah, from my side too. Before thanking Karthik's question, yes, we do have team of mortgage brokers as well. That is why we are able to get more than 10 properties for both of us. So we have dedicated accountants as well. But yeah, you can work through your side, or we are happy to refer our team as well to you guys. So anytime. So thanks a lot, Jay, for your time and facilitating this session. Yes, we are happy to reach out to you guys and provide any assistance that we could do it. If personally, if you're stuck, please reach out to us. If you're not stuck, keep smashing what you are doing, guys. So all the very best for your portfolio journey.
Thank you all. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you,
Thank
Naveen.
you all. Thank you
Bye.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.